there were some famous people um, that were like visions or prophetic dreams or whatever you want to call it affected them in surprising ways. And the first one we're going to talk about tonight, um, and well, actually, before I even get to that, I want to do shout outs. I want to say hello to Reagan, who's on my team. She's a part of Ghost of Paranormal, as well as my good buddy Ben, or Bane as he is in chat, who I met both of them actually from uh, Darkness Radio, the paranormal show done by Dave Schrader. So I was good to see you guys. And I want to say hello to Sweet and everybody from Palace, and to all the people who haven't posted a name in chat. My ghosts, if you will. Uh, Welcome, certainly. All right, so the first one that I want to talk about tonight is from a very long time ago, around about the 1830s. A young man who was about 12 or 13 years old, his mother had a dream, a very, very vivid vision or prophetic dream, whatever you want to call it, that inspired him to years later run for public office and to make changes in our world. And that little 12, 13-year-old boy was Abraham Lincoln. His abolishment of slavery in this country was based largely, in fact, because his mother had a vision that told him to do it. I mean, obviously, there were a lot of people that were morally opposed to it, even at that time. But it was mainly, a lot of it had to do with the fact that fate or destiny or the big blue meaning in the sky, whatever you want to call it, gave this woman, his mother, this message to her that came out like a dream, that she had repeated to her son, and which inspired him to do all this great stuff that he did. And he wasn't perfect either. I know like a lot of kind of prejudiced people like to point out that he did some things that weren't so kosher, but all in all, I gotta think that his heart was in the right place. And honestly, we haven't had many presidents like that since. Probably just a few comes to mind. And I could bet you that probably half of those were inspired in some way, shape, or form by a vision. Hold on a second. Sorry, I was reading something in chat just now. So, I mean, think about that for a second. Basically, our entire country, the way it is now, can be owed to the fact that Abraham Lincoln's mother had this dream. You're talking about a Black Widow in chat right now. I'd rather deal with a Black Widow than a brown recluse. Just saying. Anyways, so yeah, there's Abraham Lincoln. Another one who it is said was another president who was said to largely be inspired by dreams like this was actually JFK. And I don't think it's an accident that they were both inspired ways that went against the the puppet masters trying to pull the strings and resulted in their assassinations. But that's just me. I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist, just saying. But anyhow, I digress. Another, a famous individual a little more recently that was inspired very much by their dreams was, there's been a lot of actors actually that can be said about, but the one I'm talking about is the actor Robert Crane, who was tragically murdered. You would probably know him as Bob Hogan from Hogan's Heroes, which was a great, funny show. But he used to talk about, like, he was considered kind of a modern-day spiritualist in his time, because he used to talk about these dreams he would have. And not just dreams, like, he was really into the paranormal. Like, and people don't know that, but yeah, he actually lived in the home of George Reeves for a while, and used to talk about George Reeves haunting him as Superman. So yeah, but it's not the point. But he had a dream basically told him to go to Hollywood, and he did. He was perfectly content living in New York City, being a Broadway actor. And he had this dream just out of nowhere tell him to go to Hollywood, and he did. And practically overnight, he was on TV. Another one that was like that actually was a little more recent. Steven Spielberg. The entire reason that Steven Spielberg did one of the greatest movies of all time, one of the biggest blockbusters, won so many Academy Awards and everything that it's ridiculous. He made Close Encounters of the Third Kind based on a dream he had. A lot of people would like to think that it was based on some personal experience he had with an alien encounter, but it wasn't. It was actually based on a dream that he had. Now, one could say that it was a dream given him by aliens or whatever. You can digress that into whatever you want, but the point is, it was based on a dream. Best-selling author Stephen King, practically every major book he's written was based on dreams that he had. Well, mainly more like nightmares, but quite a few of them were prophetic in a way. Reagan said, "I have visions of winning the lottery every day." No, honey, that's not visions. That's wishful thinking. That's different. Although I wish you luck. Um, yeah. So yeah, Steven Spielberg was another one of those guys that he's very not afraid of the paranormal. Very kind of embraces it in a lot of ways. A lot of his work has been based on that. Uh, M. Night Shyamalan is another guy. Largely, most of what he's done actually was based on visions that kind of told him what direction to take in a movie. Um, Stephen King, like I said, uh, a lot of famous authors actually. Edgar Allan Poe was well. He had visions. His visions were more drug fueled, like because he used a lot of opium, um, and which I'm not at all uh, promoting drug use, but it worked for him. A lot of the stuff he did, not only on the written page, but also in his own life, causes he took up were based on things that he had visions about. Bane says, I have my own powers, I hope. I think everybody does. And I know you're joking, but I'm taking this seriously. I think everybody does. I think everybody is capable of way more than they think. It's just that modern day society's been told and taught over and over again that none of this stuff exists. Blah blah blah. To which I say, fuck you. I'm living proof that that's not true. And I've had people try and test me before on that, and I've proved them wrong. But anyways, yeah. So like people throughout history, like people we look up to, people that we aspire to, have in surprising ways been led either directly or indirectly by psychic visions. Um, 5 out of the last 8 presidents we had psychic advisors who had visions about what direction to take in our own country. Verifiable fact. Regardless of whether you believe in them or not. Yeah, I agree. Reagan just said, we are. Society stunted us. That is absolutely correct. And there's nothing wrong, by the way, with a healthy bit of skepticism. I do it myself. Like our evidence. I don't present it first of all as evidence. I consider it proof because I don't have any interest in proving anything to anybody else, really. Um, Ultimately, I'm only interested in satisfying my own curiosity. So even when we're doing like evidence review after an investigation, we try and debunk our own stuff. Okay, Sweet just said something in chat. Do you want me to read this on the air, Sweet? Because I will if you want me to, or I'll keep it to myself, however you want to do it. Yes. Yes, that's a good point. Reagan just said, "Wow, sweet, I need to get with you." That's a story that could go in the Parazine. Yes, we're putting together our own paranormal magazine, Ghost of Paranormal Parazine, it's called. And if you have stories of hauntings or what have you, submit them to us, and we will put them in our magazine. And or if you run a business and you're looking to advertise, you can get with us on that too. So yeah, but she's telling me a story about an experience I guess her daughter had. I'm not smoking. I'm actually vaporizing, which you can do inside. Anyways, um, it's been theorized, and there is some evidence to suggest that a lot of the celebrities that met with very unexpected, tragic ends kind of may have seen it coming, um, which could be attributed to visions or dreams or premonitions, what have you. Case in point, Brandon Lee, uh, before, like the day before he died accidentally on the set of The Crow, gave a very kind of prophetic interview in which he was saying, he said, uh, we have a tendency to think of life as limitless. Yet, how many more times will we see the sunrise? Perhaps seven, eight. You know, how many times will we see a child laughing? You know, perhaps five or six. We believe that these things are limitless, but there's no way of telling. You know, and he's basically saying, live life like there's no tomorrow. And which I wholeheartedly agree with, by the way. Uh, but there is some evidence to suggest that maybe he knew what was coming because of like the things he said in that interview. The same thing could be said of Paul Walker, who actually said probably like a week or so before his tragic death in that car accident, even though he wasn't the one driving, by the way, but he did say for the record that if I should die from speed, meaning going fast, don't feel bad for me. I died doing what I love. Okay, sweet. I'm just going to go ahead and read your story that you put in here. If you don't want me to, stop me. Otherwise, I'm reading it. She says, we were cleaning a house yesterday that is haunted, and it was a house that was, to put it nicely, made for servants. So, a slave house, I'm guessing. My daughter said that she thought it was awesome that she was doing exactly what servants did back then. She even talked to the spirits in the home. It was rather awesome to witness. Well, there you go. And this is obviously a very haunted place that she's referring to. And that's the kind of like when people investigate, like rather than doing the shit they see on TV, that's how they should do it. Right how you said it. You know, that'll draw spirits out a lot faster than being a douchebag. Do what they did and then talk to them like they're there. Well, because they are, but you get my point. Anyways, kind of went off track there a little bit. Yeah, so people throughout history, like great people that we aspire to be, have been largely influenced by the visions, premonitions, and prophetic dreams I'm talking about tonight. I mean, like I said before, JFK was largely influenced by him. George Washington and Benjamin Franklin they owned slaves. Okay, I'm not trying to make it pretty for you. If you don't know in this country by now that the so-called founding fathers were slave owners, then you're an idiot. But they owned, like George Washington actually, or maybe it was Benjamin Franklin. I forget which one, like owned this particular slave. But there was a slave that one of them owned that they kind of shared back and forth because she had prophetic dreams, and they were using her as kind of a spiritual advisor, kind of behind closed doors. But there is actually historical records of some of these meetings taking place between the slave woman and George Washington, and supplying him with foresight into what to do next. So these are not by any means new ideas. They may seem new because the paranormal world kind of exploded with the whole TV expansion, but it really isn't. This stuff's been going on forever. Wait, hold on, back up. Sweet just said that was kind of sexy. Just saying, what was kind of sexy? Let me know so I can do it again. Anyways. So, yeah, totally not a new idea. This has been going on forever, and it's still going on. It's still going on. The only difference between then and now is like it's kind of okay to talk about now. Like that's one good thing I can say that came out of like this whole paranormal TV craze, is that it made it okay to talk about. I mean, yeah, there's still closed-minded people out there that I talk about this stuff to, and they think I'm just insane, and that's fine. They can think whatever they want, but socially speaking, it's made it okay to talk about without being branded a witch and somebody trying to burn me at the stake. And the thing is that as cool as that is, I still believe we have to be more socially aware, of things. And I've always said on the show that I'm very passionate about the paranormal, and that's absolutely true. I am. I would rather deal with ghosts or with animals more than I would most living people. That's just a statement in fact. Because, ghosts have learned basically not to screw each other over, and and you don't see animals screwing each other over for a percentage, So, when it comes to this kind of stuff, so you'll see, like, whenever I become aware of it, I'll try and point this out, that, I sometimes forget that I'm talking to people. And I've done that a few times on the show where I kind of forget that there's people listening to me. And while I love and respect my audience and consider them a great big part of my family, then, I've also got to include the spirit world in that. I do. Because, I have 3 ghosts that live in my house. 3 of them. Full time live in my house. And I consider them part of the family. It's just what I think, what I believe. And like I said, people are entitled to believe whatever the fuck they want to. Just, don't tell me that I'm wrong, I'll respect your views as long as you respect mine. As well. So, and by look, the thing is like by pointing out that famous people have embraced these ideas throughout history. My hope is that maybe somebody out there that's had some experiences won't feel like such a freak about it, and it'll be okay talking about it. And I've always felt like that if this show helps at least one person come to terms with whatever's happened to them, then I've done my job. And I don't mind haters, and because a lot of close-minded people are haters of this show, and they'll flat out tell you that they hate the show because it's not scientific and blah 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 and blah 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 blah. I don't give a shit. In fact, I kind of like it because haters are just a sign of success. So hate on me all you want. It's not going to do you any fucking good. It's going to do me tons of good, though. So, yes, please, and thank you. But yeah, by pointing that out, though, like I said, that, famous people throughout history and even today, there's some celebrities that will come forward and say, yeah, this shit is real. In fact, they had a whole TV show about it called Celebrity Ghost Story. That is all first-hand accounts of celebrities that believe they've had close encounters of spirits. And you'll notice that, like, the cool thing on that show is that, yes, there are some very negative stories, but the majority of them are very, very life-affirming. But then they had to go and fuck it up because they made this other show that's kind of like a spin-off called The Haunting of. in which this psychic lady, I don't remember her name, I just remember she annoys me fucking greatly because she turns everything into negative. And I've always said that, the paranormal world, you get out of it, we put into it. If all you're expecting to get out of it is the fucking negative, that's all you're going to find. In which case, you're not doing yourself any fucking favors. And flip side of that, if all you expect to find is a positive, that's all you're going to find. Which, there's nothing wrong with that, but you're missing out on the bigger picture. So I like to try and be somewhere in between. And not really expect anything. And just let whatever's going to happen, happen. So... One second. Yes, indeed. As Reagan just said in chat, haters make you famous. Absolute truth. And we are, by the way. I'm going to get a little braggadocious right now. Because I'm really actually very proud of this. This show that you're listening to right now is being broadcast around the world. We have listeners in Perth, Australia, as well as Sydney. We have listeners in Scotland, Ireland, the UK, Germany, France, Belgium, the Netherlands, as well as right here in the good old USA. And we just picked up some listeners in Japan. I just found out. So we're doing very well. The name of our team is Ghost of Paranormal, and remember it because it's going to be known around the world very soon. So yeah, I'm patting myself on the back. But yeah, I do have very definitive ideas about the paranormal, and it does rub some people the wrong way that I'm so positive about these things. But I believe I have insight that other people don't have because I see it. Literally, I see it. And I don't mean when I say I see spirits, I don't mean like in a psychic way. I mean in a very physical one. Okay, I'm actually seeing them with my own two eyes. Not in like some psychic sense. I'm actually seeing them. I see them just as clearly as I would see you if you were standing right in front of me. The only difference is I can't see through you. That's really it. I mean, I've tried to explain this to people, and about the best thing I could do in the way of an explanation is to point them towards some movies. Like Odd Thomas is probably the best example I can think of overall. But equally good would be like The Frighteners or The Sixth Sense. That's kind of, sort of what it's like. And no, no, Reagan, I said braggadocious, not braggadouches. We're not going to get into braggadocious because we know a few of them. uh, oh my, that was great. Anywho, so yeah, if don't let doubters or what have you make you feel bad about yourself just about even talking about this stuff. I want everybody that's listening to me right now to know that you can always come to me with this stuff. I will listen. And when I am able, I will even give you advice when you need it on how to deal with it. And you can always get a hold of me through this radio show. You can come to our website, ghostwolfpara.weebly.com. Go into our live streaming radio and web series section and go into our chat room there, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you. Or if you don't want to have your questions or statements read on the air, you can contact me by email, ghostwolfj@gmail.com or ghostwolfpara@gmail.com. The first one is my personal one. The second one is for our team. And either way, I'd be glad to, take care of you there. Or you can now get us on Facebook. We have a Facebook community page. It's facebook.com/Ghost Paranormal, and you can come by, like us on there, and shoot us a comment, and we'll make sure that we take care of you. Anyways, sorry, I was laughing at something in chat. Anyways, yeah, so, just know that, whether you're new to the paranormal and having some experiences or have questions, or if you're having an issue and need direction, just know that you can contact us. We're not going to judge you. We're not gonna make you feel like a freak about it, because you're not. I mean, this stuff is regardless of what the non-believers think, this stuff is very, very real. And we do take it seriously. There's nothing wrong with having fun, which we do from time to time on an investigation or what have you, but we do take it seriously, especially on like a residential case or something, and we are a kind of multicultural, multi-faith-based team. I'm Native American, and that's kind of the driving force. But we have Wiccans on the team. We've got we have a Wiccan on the team. We've got pagans on the team. We've got you name it, we've probably got it. And we will either help you, or if we can't help you, we will help you get in contact with somebody who can. So just know that, no matter what the issue is, if we will take it seriously. We're not going to laugh you off. We're not going to call you crazy and turn you away or anything of that nature. We will take you seriously. And it doesn't cost you anything, by the way. This isn't, just so you know, this isn't about money. We're not going to get in contact with you and go, oh, by the way, can I get your credit card information? That's not our style. And that's not why we're doing this. Now, if you were to call us and try and schedule a ghost hunt somewhere, then we might charge you depending on where the place is, but it would never be a lot of money, and we can like on our ghost hunts, by the way. So, yep. All right, got about 3 minutes left, folks. So, right here, real quick, I want to get everyone to know this up front. This show, for those that are new, comes on Monday and Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every week, pretty much without fail, unless notified otherwise. So this is another way that you can get a hold of us, is come to one of the radio broadcasts. We'll definitely be here. Also, next week on Monday is going to be a very, very cool show, because it's going to be kind of a milestone in a way, because next week will be, let's see, yeah, it'll be 2 years since, no, 3 years. It'll be 3 years since my first time at the Mansfield Farm Museum. And we're going to celebrate that with a whole bunch of stuff. First-hand accounts, stories, EVPs, you name it. We're going to even try and have some people on the show besides just myself. And then Wednesday night, I'm hoping to get a very special guest on the show by the name of Reverend Robin Marie. She is a psychic medium and a reverend. So it'll be, but not the kind of reverend you're probably thinking about. So that should be a very interesting show. And, I'll keep you updated as things progress, but that's about all the time I have for tonight, folks. I want to thank you, my pack, my tribe, for tuning in. Until next time, peace out.